morning, Dheeraj. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so is this your first interview?
No, sir, I had attended interview in 21 iteration.
अच्छा, ठीक है। तो फॉर सिविल सर्विस एग्जाम राइट 21 में।
Yes.
अच्छा, तो सिंस यू अपीयर्ड इन द इंटरव्यू बिफोर ऑलरेडी, तो what can we do is कि we can go through rather than going through the basic DAF based discussion that I would have done for a beginner, कि focusing on your name or importance of your name or your date of birth, date of interview, optional subject, home state, home district, graduation district, prizes, medals and scholarships. Rather than focusing these basic things, my suggestion would be कि we can discuss whatever may have been bothering you, or we can have a basic discussion as well if you want. So whatever you want, we can do. Either way, do make sure that you send me the keywords of your DAF.
Yes. Sir, certain elements I had missed out in 21 edition, I had added this time, sir. Like I worked in an NGO in the game. And also regarding certain features like this, I had organized one fest. I was doubtful whether I should write it or not. This time around, I had mentioned it. And certain aspects in the leadership column I had added to it.
ठीक
So,
है, ओके, तो आई जस्ट हैव अ लुक एट दैट। तो देखो, आपने यू हैव वर्कड इन एन एनजीओ, तो प्रोमिनेंट क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम एनजीओ कैन बी रिगार्डिंग फ्रॉम दैट कैन बी रिगार्डिंग एनजीओ एज सच, कि रेगुलेशन ऑफ एनजीओज, रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस दैट गवर्न एनजीओज, और फिर देन सम एनजीओज इंडल्ज इन इलीगल एक्टिविटीज लाइक प्रॉक्सी लिटिगेशन, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, टेरर फंडिंग एटसेट्रा. So what can be done to eliminate that? Or some NGOs have been working in radicalizing as well. So what can be done to eliminate that? That can be the first question. Other than that, they can go into the area which you have worked in. So which domain did you work in when you were working in an NGO?
sir, it was regarding eco-consciousness. It was an environmental issue.
I didn't understand. I didn't get you.
Sir,
What
it
was?
was an environmental NGO. It was regarding eco-consciousness.
अच्छा, ठीक है, got it. तो also, FCRA, what laws govern NGOs? Like, so what are the provisions of FCRA? Why were the registrations of certain NGOs cancelled by MHA recently? ठीक है, एक ये हो गया। दूसरा ये है कि नेक्स्ट थिंग कैन बी कि सो सिंस यू वर्क इन एनवायरमेंटल कॉन्शियसनेस, सो दे कैन गो इनटू ऑल द लॉज एंड स्कीम्स फॉर कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनवायरमेंट, लाइक फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन एक्ट, फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, फॉरेस्ट राइट्स एक्ट, बायोडाइवर्सिटी एक्ट, एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट। ठीक है, उसके बाद देन नेक्स्ट थिंग कैन बी कि वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट और एयर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन एक्ट, मेजर सोर्सेज ऑफ पोल्यूशन, the outdoor pollution and major sources, indoor pollution, then climate change, global warming, INDC's Paris deal, COP28 के outcomes, initiatives to mitigate the impact of climate change, prevent climate change. ठीक है, then they can also go into key, what was your role, what were your learnings from that working in that NGO, why aren't you going to NGOs, why are you coming to civil service? Navyug NGO for eco consciousness you have mentioned. ठीक है, तो why are you coming to civil service, why aren't you going to NGOs as such? That can be important. Other than that, based on your work in NGO, what suggestions would you give in policy making? ठीक है, what is common but differentiated responsibilities, what are the outcomes of COP20, नहीं, what are the outcomes, तो ठीक है, then what is climate justice, how can we make sure that funding for research regarding climate change and technology transfer is ensured. Then you mentioned about events, right? So student counseling center volunteer worked in anti-ragging, suicide prevention, co-organize TEDx Osmania. This is the new thing.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो
Both of
इसमें
them I had added, sir.
I didn't get you. What is that? What did you say?
Sir, he had specifically asked for leadership. I was only a volunteer, so I did not mention it last time around. So this time around, I had seen that many are mentioning even
That is
volunteer.
okay. You could mention. ठीक है, तो co-organization में what were the challenges? What was your role? If you were the overall head, what timelines, what milestones, what members under what portfolio would you have needed? You can mention that. ठीक है. Other than that, they can go into key based on your learning or experience of organizing this event. ठीक है, based on your learning and organizing this event, how would you plan the organization of maybe Kumbh Mela, where maybe 5-6 lakh people are expected to visit even in a single day? ठीक है. तो what would be your planning regarding accommodation, travel, security, safety, waste management, crowd management, or then they can also go into what kind of tech talks happen, what kind of tech talks do you see, and then they can also go into the social GS related aspect of those tech talks. ठीक है, कि मान लो दैट टेक टॉक हैपेंड रिगार्डिंग कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, तो आपने वी ऑलरेडी वर्कड इन इको कॉन्शियसनेस. Other than that, maybe the TED Talk happened regarding international relations or regarding innovations or promotion of a startup.
Hmm.
Maybe that startup was working in the XYZ domain for differently abled people. So
Hmm.
whichever is the GS related topic, which TED Talks have you seen recently? What TED Talks were organized there? ठीक है. Then what else? What else you want to talk about?
That's this suicide prevention and ragging, that element.
From that anti-ragging method, don't ask much, but then they can go into student center, counseling center volunteer. So
Hmm.
what qualified you to do counseling? What is the difference between psychiatrist and psychologist? From that, they can go into mental health because of suicide prevention. So they can go into mental health. What are the mental health issues that youth is facing? What are the mental health issues that the country is facing? What are the provisions in national health policy for mental health? What were the recent amendments in Mental Health Care Act? Mental health infrastructure, what is the status in India? How many
Hmm.
psychiatrists or psychologists are present in India per million population compared to global standard? Why mental health has been a taboo in India? What can we do to promote mental health? What is the impact of social media in causing challenges to mental health? What is the impact of maybe screens in causing mental health disorders?
So what was the last one?
Screen
Screens,
time.
screen time. Okay.
ठीक है. Now doctors in Western countries are even prescribing nature.
Hmm.
ठीक है, for mental health. So how does nature help mental health? How does screen time deteriorate mental health?
And so that there was certain I had added quilling also as my
I didn't
hobby.
get you. What was that?
Quilling.
Okay. Uh, Quilling. So, what exactly is quilling?
So it's like an art form wherein we roll those strips, color strips of papers, and we design them and make into shapes and greeting cards and designs. It's
ठीक
a
है.
3D art.
Okay. So, since it is a new word, they might ask you this. Otherwise, then where did it originate? Why do you do it? What benefits come from that? Can it be commercialized? Can you train local self-help groups so that they can it be used for income generation or
Hmm.
as a means for rural, low wage, low skill, labor intensive, non-farm
Hmm.
activity that can be used for income generation and poverty alleviation? What
Hmm.
groups are working in that? What products are made in that? Can it be commercially viable? कि मतलब does it have a market and it be profitable? What can you do to make it profitable? And have you contacted the local SHGs of your area so that, or have you contacted the National Rural Livelihood Mission coordinator of your district to explore whether it can be used for income generation and poverty alleviation?
Hmm.
Where did it originate? Who are the major artists? What has the government done for promotion of those artists, if anything has been done? Otherwise, what kind of initiatives can be taken for promotion of this art?
These were the major elements, and also youth parliament. I had not mentioned last time because my award
देखो,
section is already big.
two sections. Youth parliament, so they can go into executive, legislature, judiciary, checks and balances, separation of power, functioning of the parliament. है ना? Recently,
Hmm.
there have been several criticisms in the newspaper that parliament has not been functioning very well. So, what is your opinion regarding that? If
Hmm.
you think it has been functioning well, then why this criticism is arising? And if it has not been functioning well, then what can we do to make it function properly? ठीक है. उसके
Hmm.
बाद next thing can be कि which topic was discussed when you participated in youth parliament. ठीक है. Whichever topic was discussed, to do student study the laws, policies, schemes, status of implementation means current data about the execution of those schemes and implement or any case study that you can suggest for better implementation. Any case study or model that has been applied in India or abroad, any startup working in that domain, any social entrepreneurship model, latest technology if you can suggest for that. ठीक है. Whichever topic you're comfortable talking about. There may have been multiple topics. There may be topics of your strength. So whichever you're comfortable talking about, you can pick up.
Hmm. Yes.
ठीक है. What else?
So those are the four areas I wanted to ask.
ठीक है,
got
तो
it.
do make sure that you send me the keywords of your DAF as well. Basically, you know कि your name, date of birth and date of interview, है ना,
Mhm.
place of birth, place of origin, और then
The
your
district.
optional subject, graduation subject.
Mhm.
ठीक है, तो latest updates in that, और then ये फादर्स प्रोफेशन, he
Mhm.
retired from principal government junior college, है ना,
Mhm.
Ramanpet, Medak district. So uh, issues in education, primary, secondary, higher education, technique, technology, pedagogy, curriculum, new education policy.
Mhm.
Okay, initiatives of promotion of higher education, initiatives of promotion of research, then
Mhm.
political science, history, public administration. All these three are important topics, and you still took anthropology as your optional.
Yes.
You could have taken any of these three. Why? Why did you take yet another subject as your optional?
Mhm.
Latest developments in latest research in history, rewriting of history. Then they
Mhm.
can also go into political science में कि basic theory कि prominent thinkers associated, who was Frederick Engels, who were theorists after Gramsci, anarchist scholars, who were the anarchist scholars. Do you consider Marx an anarchist scholar? Do you consider theory of Marx still relevant? Or
The political science part, can you repeat? I could not get it.
major thinkers, Frederick
Mhm.
Engels, Gramsci, Marx,
Mhm.
okay, state of nature, who gave this theory,
Mhm.
ठीक है, then women, first feminist scholar, who was the first feminist scholar, women political scientists,
Mhm.
Indian feminism and Western feminism. What are the difference? Fabian socialism and what are the types?
Mhm.
Fabian socialism opposed to a prevalent theory of that time. What was that theory?
Sir,
Fabian socialism stood up in opposition of a prominent theory. What was that theory?
sir, I didn't get it. You were a bit fast. Fabian socialism.
Stood up in opposition of a prominent theory. What was that theory?
Mhm.
ठीक है.
Mhm.
Try to have a look at these keywords. Try to make a list of those keywords. Send that to me on WhatsApp.
Okay.
And you'll get a question bank. So that question bank will have 14, 1500 questions depending on your optional subject, graduation subject, and keywords of your DAP. So try to make sure that you research those topics properly.
Yes.
ठीक है.
Sir,
Then public
the mis-
administration में do make sure that you are updated with the implementation of salient government schemes, status,
Mhm.
and analysis. What were you saying?
Sir, you asked me to message you, you or this, sir. There's a second number.
Me, my number. You have messaged me before, right?
Yes.
So message me.
Okay.
Okay. Then Jiram Reddy and Chaitanya and SPR School. So whatever
Mhm.
names are there in your DAF, similarly on the lines like you're prepared for your name, you should be preparing.
Mhm.
Anything else that you want to ask or discuss?
Uh, Nothing more in specifics.
Chalo, then good luck. Take care. Do make sure that you send me the keywords of your DAF. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Really, my pleasure.